American toad. The American toad has three subspecies: the rare Hudson Bay toad, the Eastern American toad, and the Dwarf American toad. These toads are characterized by noticeable warts along with their stout bodies with short legs. The warty skin on these toads is known to contain poisonous milky fluid which helps these toads with protection from their predators. American toad versus Fowler's toad. To differentiate between the American toad and the Fowler's toad, one could count the number of bumps in each of the large dark blotches on the back of these toads. While Fowler's toads have about 3 or 4 bumps per blotch, the American toads have only 1 or 2. Apart from that, another difference is that the belly of the Fowler's toad is white while that of an American toad is white with black spots. American toad scientific name. The American toads go by the scientific name Anaxyrus americanus. The kingdom is called Animalia and the phylum is Chordata. The class is Amphibia, and the order is Anura. The family is called Bufonidae and the genus is Anaxyrus. The species is called A. americanus. While the name, Americanus, simply refers to the region in the world that these toads are found, Anaxyrus is a Greek word that represents a king or a chief. American toad appearance. American toads have short legs and stout bodies like many other variations of this type of amphibian. However, one of the interesting facts of this specific creature is that they have warts that produce a milky liquid that is highly poisonous. Often red or yellow, warts decorate the toad's thick skin, serving as one of their many adaptations to protect them from the predators that hunt them. For anyone that stays away from any contact with these warts, you're safe. However, it is incredibly harmful if squirted in the eyes or swallowed, though the latter is more likely to be the fate of a predator or a curious pet than a human. Swallowing the poison will make the predator incredibly sick. This attribute is shared amongst the 3 different species of the American toad: the Hudson Bay toad, the Eastern American toad, and the Dwarf American toad. Most of the time, American toads have brown skin, but there are some variations in their markings. Some toads may show light olive or gray patches along this tough skin, which can be as light as a yellow hue or as dark as black. The coloring may change as the humidity and temperature of their environment change, though stress can also be a factor. American toads have 4 toes that are located on each front leg and 5 toes along the hind legs, though each set is connected with webbing. The pupils of these toads are oval-shaped and are black with a golden outline. The males have dark-colored throats that are usually black or brown, but the females are many lighters, featuring a white throat instead. Females also tend to be larger than their male counterparts. The size of the toad's body may range between 50 to 100 millimeters, but most of them are approximately 75 millimeters. They can be distinguished from other toad species with the dark spots on their backs that contain only 1 to 2 warts each. The black spots are also sometimes outlined with a white or yellow marking. Some types of American toads also tend to have a permanent ridge on the top of their heads. American toad behavior. American toads are nocturnal, preferring to be the most active when the weather is humid and warm. These toads are solitary and only come together at breeding ponds, which happens in the late spring and early summer months. During the day, the American toads are known to hide under rocks or logs. They also dig into the soil and dead leaves. In winters, they dig back into their summer homes or find new places to hibernate. The American toads have very noticeable calls. They make long trilling sounds, lasting between 4 to 20 seconds each. The males use these sounds to attract the female toads for breeding. During the mating season, these calls become louder, constant, and more frantic. When these calls are made, the throats of the male toads puff out like balloons. However, this is not the only way that the American toads communicate. Some of them also use body postures, chemical cues, and touch to communicate. American toad habitat. The American toad has 3 subspecies: the rare Hudson Bay toad, the Eastern American toad, and the Dwarf American toad. As for habitat, for early development, the American toads need a semi-permanent pool or pond for their early development. Not only that, but they also need dense vegetation patches that act as cover and hunting grounds for them. If these conditions are fulfilled, the American toads can exist almost anywhere, from forests to even backyards. The American toads are known for their habitat adaptations. It is easy to spot American toads in gardens as well as agricultural fields. They can often also be spotted in daylight hours when they usually seek cover beneath porches or under flat stones and boardwalks. They are known to dig back into their summer homes as and when winter arrives. They can also choose to hibernate somewhere else during this time. American toad diet. The adult American toads are carnivorous. However, the toad tadpoles are herbivorous, and their diet usually consists of aquatic vegetation and algae. The adults eat a wide variety of insects and other invertebrates. They usually feed on slugs, beetles, snails, and earthworms. They are known for their dietary adaptations as well, working with the available nutrients around them. The American toads do not wait for the prey to come to them and can stick out their tongues to pounce on the prey and catch it. These toads use their front legs when they have to eat larger chunks of food. They grab hold of their food and push it into their mouths. Reports suggest that one American toad can eat up to 1,000 insects every day. These toads do not drink water, but they can soak the water in by absorbing it through their skin.